Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this test cast. I'm
Starbow.
Xiphias. Oh, Starbow, thank you. I'm Xiphias, and with me is...
DrennoC. I learned after a long time you can't actually wait for them to say it because it just takes too long. You have 5 extra seconds in there until I realize I have to say it.
That's a good point. Without further ado, on the top right side of King Kawa, which is a great map to pronounce, we have from Team Tactics the red Protoss player Teddybear. Expect Avex to zoom in now.
And in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the blue Terran player representing himself. Apparently a pun of Shaq. It is Shaguar. I'm gonna go with Shaggy.
Yeah, let's just call him Shaggy. We already
go with Shag because there's no E.
Just Shag.
Shag.
Wait, Shag moving out. No, this map actually, interestingly, was made by Superhuman. Do you know who that is, DrennoC?
I have no idea at all, and I'm quite sorry about it.
You heard about the map Cloud Kingdom?
Yes.
That's the guy.
Oh, cool. That's fantastic.
Yeah, he actually enjoys making Starbow maps. He's made 5 at least. He made 2 a while back, which we're not using any of because they were not that great, although they looked awesome. But he made 3 more, and 2 of them are in the ladder pool now. This is one of them. The last one is a little bit crazy, but we might try it out later on. But this is a really sweet little map. It's kind of like a mix between Fighting Spirit and Circuit Breaker, which are basically the 2 best maps in Starbow, so you can't go wrong there.
Yep, yeah, it's a really cool map. I love how in the middle you don't necessarily normally in Starbow you got the one solid middle of the map, that one place, but you still have the middle. It's kind of broken up though, so some cool things can happen in there. I find it pretty cool. And I also just got to point out there are some incredibly small choke points. I don't know if you can see my ping on the map, but that's like the smallest choke point ever.
Yep, we add those rocks to make them really choke. You can basically wall that off with like 1 Dragoon or like 1 Queen. And the reason we do that is that if you put 2 lurkers on top of that ramp, Marines can't literally move through there. Like it's very important in Starbow to have a very strong defender's advantage and very much positional play, because you basically want to take as many expansions as possible and not just the 3. So having these chokes makes that possible to hold at that many expansions without being completely overwhelmed.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of really cool positional things you can do in Starbow, which I really love it for. But for now, Teddybear getting into Shag's main base, gets off a completely full scout, and now actually Shag does have 1 Marine coming out, but he'll go into his bunker, so that probe should not escape. On the flip side of the map, top right-hand corner, Teddybear, I'm guessing it seems pretty normal. Looks like he's going to go for Twilight Council. I'm not sure what upgrade he'll get out of that, but both players, none of them being incredibly aggressive, both just getting into their standard economic game.
Yeah, it's actually a little bit interesting what Teddybear is doing because, well, first of all, Shag's expansion is quite early because you usually want to get the factory before the command center, so he's a little bit greedy, but I think he's going to be fine with a bunker. And it's very normal for Protoss to go for Robotech if you don't want to have 2 gateways, or if you don't want to have a Nexus, and you don't really see Templar Archive Tech going after 1 base versus Terran, and he's trying to hide it too with his Dragoon, so I'm pretty sure he's gonna rush for Dark Templars, which is just really weird because of Scan and Spider Mines. But it might work. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. It'll really depend on how Shag scouts him.
Oh, this is gonna be good. It's gonna be a Dark Templar drop. This is crazy.
Nice.
We don't see this much at all.
Yeah, and at first what I was gonna say was like he's going Blink, and I was like, but there's no stalkers in Starbow, so never mind.
Oh,
scratch
there are
all that.
stalkers. There are stalkers in Starbow.
But there's not Blink stalkers in Starbow.
Yes, there are.
There are?
There are.
What's wrong with me? Oh,
so,
Warpin'.
but you need Twilight Council to make them, and they're like really fragile units. They're really fast and they blink a lot. They're really mobile. They're like the Reapers of Protoss, like super fragile but very annoying and harassing.
Oh, okay. I just have seen Twilight Council before and been like, oh, no Blink. I assume there's no Blink. But yes, there's a lot of different upgrades in Starbow which have kind of been moved around in different places because of the really amazing balancing from Xiphias and all the crew in Starbow.
Or just because that's what it was like in Brood War. But yeah, I'll go with your version. It makes me sound better, so that's okay. So yeah, definitely War Prism. He's gonna try to squeeze out 3 Dark Templars before he drops. He might just use the last one for defense, but it's rallied over where the other ones are. But the War Prism is ready to go, and Now,
Oh.
there are no... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no. I was just gonna say, will the vulture spot it, but it's not gonna suicide in. I thought it was gonna go for a little bit of a scout there.
Oh, but Teddybear is being careless with that War Prism, man. Like, if that vulture was staying in front, he would have seen it. No, he really wants that third Dark Templar, and he couldn't find it. But sorry, you know.
No, I liked it. I just didn't. I have a noise gate on, so if I laugh and it's under a certain amount, you can't hear it.
That's
Like a chuckle, you can't hear.
I'll remember that. I'll just assume that you're gonna laugh at all my horrible jokes then. Now, the War Prism is just doing a lot of weird stuff. It was like in face mode and not face mode, but it's finally like heading towards its destination, and it's miraculously not been scouted despite of many weird turns. So this will be a surprise for Shag.
And man, that flying engineering bay, it does spot the Warp Prism move in, and those DTs did actually do damage to the supply depot. So Shag knows these are coming in. They're going to go after the missile turret. They know they need to get rid of this detection, but there's still a scan on the main base ready.
And I think there's even a scan with a natural main. Well, anyway, these DTs are not going to do that much. They did force the SCVs out. They did kill a missile turret, and one of them is going to survive and be incredibly annoying. But apart from that, I don't think it's going to be able to do much. There's a missile turret ready. Oh, never mind. But he dropped the third one. Yeah, I was wondering why I didn't drop all three of them, and I guess this is why.
Yep, and one thing you have to remember in Starbow is that the scans don't cost anything. They're free, they just have a cooldown. So let's see, that even makes DTs worse, because maybe in SC2 you can think, okay, he's not going to be able to mule. No, are you shaking your head because I'm wrong?
No.
Oh.
I was just cracking my neck.
I swear they don't cost energy. Like, I'm looking at them, I've used them, I swear they don't cost anything.
They don't. And the thing is, like, yes, they don't cost energy, and yes, you have spider mines, but on the other hand, you don't need a Dark Templar shrine thingy. So it's kind of better and it's kind of worse at the same time, but it's actually mostly worse. Going Dark Templars versus Terran early on is usually bad. Like, it rarely pays off, unless you're playing someone who don't know how to deal with it, of course. But that goes for anything.
And this is a ladder match, so I don't know how much Teddybear knows of what Shag is doing, or either player. Like, I don't know how much they actually know of the game. I'm sure they're pretty good, but no.
Yeah, Teddybear's played Starbow for a long time, and he's very accomplished. He's actually, I think he was in both of the Day 9 Starbow specials.
Oh, cool.
Snuck himself in there somehow. I guess he's mostly because he keeps sending me replays, and I kept sending them to Day 9, so it was a great chance he'd find them.
That works.
That does work. So, on the meantime, though, Shag is gonna go for... he's got 2 base mech going on. He's only adding his second tech lab now, not adding any more factories, but he's going double armor. He's just gonna get a lot of upgrades, and not that many units, which is kind of odd. Usually from a 2-base Terran mech, you have like 4 or 5 factories constantly pumping out units, but he's gonna go for a fast 3rd base instead, so he's gonna stay in his base for a while. Like, he does not have the factories to make a lot of vultures to harass. He only has the factories to constantly make siege tanks to defend. So that's basically what he's going to be doing.
Yeah, but even with that, he has a very good defense. 3 siege tanks on the high ground in his main base, a siege tank in the low ground, and a couple of spider mines moving out. So it's going to be very hard for Teddybear to assault this, especially with taking... I'm guessing it's a decently early 3rd. From what I've seen, that's not...
Yeah,
that's a pretty quick 3rd. So I doubt Teddybear is going to move out. Even if he did... It looks like Shag has enough defense to stop just about anything.
And he got that mineral-only low ground that he can take. Now, it's really easy for him to defend that because of, like, mech doesn't really need chokes to defend as long as the bases are close to each other. They do need chokes if the bases are further away, like the 6 o'clock one. But this is yes, a fairly early expansion, and it probably would be a late expansion in StarCraft 2.
Yeah, it definitely would be a slightly late expansion. But now Shag, his 3rd base, is just done in his main, and we have a question from the chat. Do spider mines hit invisible units? I don't think they would, but maybe they do.
They do hit the Dark Templars, yes.
Cool.
They don't see them, like, they don't detect them, like, they don't make them visible, but they will trigger on them.
Alright, cool. Well, I mean, that's pretty good, though, and we see in the main base of Shag, I mean, he's got 3 spider mines in that area. He's even got 2 Goliaths. He does not want any drops getting into his main base. As you were mentioning, there's a lot of very drop-heavy players in Starbow at the moment, and it works really good as Protoss in that.
Yeah, I think you may have realized yourself how good a Reaver drop can be versus a mineral one.
If anyone wishes to know, I was playing Avex and he did a Reaver drop, and we're on Skype, and I'm like, this is the first time I'd seen a Reaver drop, and I knew that Reavers did a lot of damage. I wasn't 100% sure, and I'm like, I'll just pull all my probes. Like, we'll see what goes on. Well, 10 seconds and 0 probe later.
Oh, hold that thought. We have a War Prism incoming with 3 High Templars. This is going to be some Storm Drop, and there's 1 Siege Tank in position. I don't know. No, it's too far away, and the Storms are coming, and a lot of workers are going to get killed. 12, actually.
Oh, nice kills right there went off, but the 2 High Templars are actually stuck in that main. We'll try to go into an Archon. They will be sniped. That War Prism gets out. A decent amount of damage. 12 does come down, though, but all the High Templars kind of got sacrificed.
No, I had to correct you. It wasn't sniped. It was rifted home to his natural.
Oh, it was?
Yep.
Oh, cool.
It was saved.
All right, I just saw it disappear. Yeah.
Yeah. Each Nexus has a recall ability. You can recall 5 ground units to your Nexus.
Ah.
It's not instant. It's not instant though. If he had like 2 siege tanks shooting on that, he'd probably just have died because it takes some time.
Yeah, which Shag actually almost has, but now, just like you were saying, he's got a fantastic defense. He's got 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 siege tanks out, and he's got a decent amount of vultures. I love the mech plays that come down in Starbow just because, yes, you have Hellions in StarCraft 2, which are quick, but vultures are a little bit quicker, and I feel like a lot more versatile than Hellions.
Yeah, especially with those, like, their attack is really good versus light units, just like Hellions are, but their spider mines are so good versus armored units, which Hellions are not. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
The spider mines does deal explosive damage.
Yeah, by the way, instead of like StarCraft 2 damage doing more versus it's a bad example because it kind of looks like that, but instead of damage doing more versus X, it's actually just, I believe almost all of it's 100% 50 and then 25%. Some of them do 75% for certain units, but all the damages are kind of done like that. I just the explanation.
Yeah. Also, Snipe is sounding a bit odd now. Avex, is it okay for you?
My internet says it's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still sounding a bit odd.
Well, yeah, I'm not 100% sure right now, but for now, Teddybear, he's got 9 Dragoons, 1 Archon at the front of that army, and this is a pretty formidable force, except for if he moves into Shag, he's going to die. And if Shag moves into him, it's not going to work out because Shag, you're not going to move forward like that with a mech army, so both players kind of have each other on a contain almost.
Yeah, he's trying to get some vultures around the higher ground position of Teddybear to do some damage. Unfortunately, he doesn't have speed upgrade for vultures, I think, unless my computer is really slow. No, he doesn't. So there's still some potential for damage there, but Teddybear has smartly put some photon cannons in his mineral line, and vultures do concussive damage, which is only 25% to armored units, and buildings are armored, so that just takes forever to kill any cannon.
Oh, nice right there. 1 DT went to the bottom left, kind of the middle of the map, but those spider mines of Shag will snipe it. And like you were saying, Shag is trying to get an angle on whatever he can. Even lands an engineering bay at the, I want to say 4th base kind of position of Teddybear. But Teddybear's like, you know what? I'm just going to drop a photon cannon. Everything's a piece of cake.
You're not the first person to pronounce Teddybear's name wrong. Let me just put it that way. And we have almost a meme about that now. So anyway, a lot of spider mines going down for Shag, and Teddybear, yes, is going to get that 4th base up quite nicely. He did lose 1 photon cannon to vultures, but he overcharged it. I mean, chrono boosted it, and it was just doing just fine.
Yeah.
Did you know you could chrono boost photon cannons, by the way?
I did, yes, and you can also do that in StarCraft, or not speed-wise, but energy-wise.
Oh, look at the production tab. We have advanced twin thrusters incoming. I don't remember that name because it's so new, but it increases movement speed of interceptors. It's basically an upgrade you get if you want to go carriers, and that's
there we are.
That's basically what Teddybear is going for right now. I think it was scanned. I think Shag has seen it. Does Avex know how to see what the other vision have? I'm pretty sure he does. But yeah, he has scanned it, and he knows what's up. But he's getting science vessels, which are good. You can EMP them. But is he getting enough Goliaths out to deal with them? He's got a decent amount already, actually. So
he's got a decent amount, but again and again, it's just going to be so hard to move into 13 siege tanks. Not only that, but there are 24 spider mines kind of just around the 3rd base and natural of Shag. So this is going to be very hard to move into. To boot, he's either going to have to pull back to defend these vultures, or these vultures are going to be able to flank him. So it almost looks like Shag has got a bit of a sandwich that can happen, especially on the left-hand side of this map. You just see so many spider mines. It's
Yeah,
beautiful actually just to retreat onto. You have a really nice path just to go to and have a little bit of safe.
yeah. Spider-Man's are really good at setting up, like, these are my safe areas, kind of. It's a very positional play. Teddybear doesn't really want to, like, he's gonna make carriers until he's maxed, and then he might attack just to free up some supply to make more carriers at this point, I think. You don't want to, if your opponent scouted your carriers, you don't want to overcommit to them, because you want to bank on him making too many Goliaths, because Goliaths are so bad versus High Templars and Dragoons.
And all the vultures of Shag are actually caught out of position. A couple do go down, but the spider mine saved them. As I was mentioning, you can really easily retreat onto them. And now Shag, his third base is up. Oh, actually, sorry, the third and the fourth base are up, and they have decent mining. While on the other side of the map, I feel like I don't know how much this works out in Starbow, but I feel like it's probably working best for the Protoss player. And now at least Teddybear, he does have a decent force in the middle of the map, but he does have to pull some Dragoons back into his third base just because those vulture attacks are very scary to deal with, and he does not want to have to lose middle just positioning in the middle of the map.
Yeah, for sure. And now actually we do see Shag moving out, and he's almost maxed. He's got good upgrades, and he really wants to take this high ground position, which will help him secure further expansions and also help him to push towards, but he's going to get contended by Teddybear with some beautiful storms and a pretty big army, but he's eventually pushed back.
Yeah, it does a decent amount versus those siege tanks, surprisingly enough, but he is pushed back. But now, as you were mentioning, he's not only got carriers, but an upgrade for the interceptors. So this is going to be interesting to see how he deals with it. But does Teddybear actually have enough carriers to do anything here?
Well, he did kill a lot of the Goliaths, it seems, so I think he can, and his opponent is not remaking Goliaths, so this is really weird, because Shag knows about the carrier tech, but he keeps making vultures and tanks, which is, like, if he was just making Goliaths at this point, I think he could just roll over Teddybear easily, but since he's not, I think Teddybear will be able to defend this push if he just moves his army back and just moves his carriers in front, and just, you know, these units can't shoot air.
Yep, one science vessel does suicide himself in to see what he can see. Maybe not the best idea, but Shag kind of knows, yeah, he's in a very scary position, but he's got a little bit of a barrier. Two science vessels actually die, my bad. He's got a little bit of a barrier with these spider mines, allowing him some time. Now Shag's actually, he's got this, he's up the third, the fourth, the fifth base he could push into, but he's got to be so careful. A decent amount of these tanks are low on health, but those storms just decimate siege tanks.
What you basically want to do as a Terran player in this position, when you know there's carriers coming, you know you're a little bit unprepared for them, you just want to churn out as many Goliaths as possible, and then use all your tanks and vultures to kill as much stuff before they will inevitably die. Because if you don't have Goliath support for your tanks, they will die, so you just want to get as much damage done as possible, and that's what he did now by killing that one base. And he's actually beautifully not suiciding them either by getting back and repositioning with his Goliath, so he might be able to go for another push with both tanks and Goliath support, which can be really difficult for Teddy to defend. But he needs enough Goliaths.
Yeah, he does need a lot more, but the vultures of Shag are actually going to get into this natural base. The Dragoons barely holding on there. They are down, and they're going to push into the natural and that main base. Hopefully, he'll get some damage done. And Teddybear is in a complete retreat. I'd love to see Shag maybe take out the third or the fourth, sorry, the fourth and the fifth with this attack, because he's pulled literally the entire army back, and Dragoons are not the fastest unit here.
Yeah, like you said, he did force them all back, and he's using this opportunity to change his position on his mech, and that's basically how you have to play mech. You want to set up your position before your opponent gets into that area, so you have to draw them back somehow, and that's exactly what it did. So now he needs to be set up in a really good position before the Protoss army actually gets on top of them, and like you said, he really should be expanding now as well. He's actually adding on 2 more command centers. He's a little bit late, but still, he's using this opportunity well.
And I love this, just this movement from Teddy. He knows there's a lot of, instead of flanking Shag here, he knows there's a lot of Spider-Man and Dual Map to take it, but get in a nice position. Storms go down, interceptors are engaging into these siege tanks. That is 25 siege tanks, but there's just so much here. Dragoons pushing this back, but again, it's a small line coming down a very small choke point, as we mentioned earlier on in this cast. This is really scary for Shag, actually. He will be able to retreat onto 62 spider mines, but still, Teddybear just decimated this army again and again, and I'm worried for Shag's composition. He is now switching to Goliaths, but is it a little bit too late?
Yeah, that's a good question. We're about to see because it is really scary, and he also stacked those tanks so much. And unfortunately for Teddy Bear, though, he was storming the same area over and over, and the storm doesn't stack in damage as it doesn't do in StarCraft 2 either. So it's not the most effective use of storm, but at least he made sure at least one got off before he got sniped. Another science vessel goes down, but not without landing a pretty decent EMP. And he has 2 more alive, so he's gonna keep trying to EMP his army, which is very nice. And he has the range upgrade for Goliath now. I didn't know he didn't until now, but you can see it on the attack animation versus air that it's slightly different.
And by the way, Goliath, I'm not sure how much upgrades count, but sorry, not Goliath, Shag. Shag is at 3-2 to the 1-1 of Teddy Bear. That's a little bit scary to be at in a lot of these engagements.
That's very good. A fully upgraded Terran mech army is incredibly scary. It's basically the most cost-effective army you can make. So this upgrade is actually very important, this upgrade difference. But meanwhile, Teddy Bear is taking tons of expansions, like three at once. And actually, so is Shag, basically. So they're both just trying to make sure they can keep their mining going.
Yeah, a couple EMPs do go down and sap almost all the High Templars, but there's still a storm left. Shag and Teddy Bear are at a standoff, but it's kind of that situation. I need to get back in this game, do something crazy, and both players know, okay, we're at a stalemate, we're in the middle of the map, we expand. But as it's going down, Shag with the super fast vultures, looking at the mini-map, they're so quick. They're going to be able to hit this, I don't even know what base, they're going to hit the base in the top left-hand corner of this map. And Teddy Bear's either going to need to defend it, pull back, because he has not spread his army out. All of his army's in the middle of the map. I don't even know what base count that is. What he's at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7?
Yeah, it's so funny because you're used to using the base count notation. I do it myself too from StarCraft 2, and it doesn't really work that well in Starbow after a while. You just have to like, it's the 3 o'clock and it's the 5 o'clock because
the top left-hand base, whatever.
Because there's so many of them, you just kind of lose count. But yeah, Shag unfortunately is moving the vultures there before there are any probes to kill, but he's going to try to snipe down the next itself. I don't know if he'll be able to do that. There is a small force of Teddy Bear here to defend, but there's a lot of Spider-Mines there to eat it up. Oh, he's dragging a lot of mines though, so he might be able. Nope, 3 more left.
Yeah, I love this. Going up into the high ground and then putting the Spider-Mines down.
Yeah, there we go. The Spider-Mines do kill each other though. So you can't like drag him on, but he has a defensive carrier, and often you see that, to try and save his base. I don't know if it's enough though. It's really hard to say if that's enough because I've never seen it.
Yeah, but right now in the middle of the map, actually, Shaggy is moving out, and the Goliaths decimate these carriers. They do have to retreat. They still got those interceptors, but really the entire army of Teddy Bear has been forced out of position. Currently, 20 siege tanks and 24 Goliaths are here, and one side vessel leaving.
The storm! And very good positioning from Teddy Bear. Now he was kind of forced to siege at an odd position, and that's basically gonna allow Teddy Bear to decimate his army, and Shag is gonna have to move back again, but he has some reinforcements there. He may be able to hold back at reinforcements, but no, mostly vultures. Not really what he wants right now versus Dragoons and Carriers.
Yeah, it is definitely not what he wants versus Dragoons and Carriers, but Teddy Bear is pushing hard now. He knows he's been given a little bit of breathing room, and he's gotta capitalize off that. But there's so many Spider-Mines here still just kind of laying around the map. 54 are on the map, but finally these Carriers, they're getting their job done. The siege tanks can't do nothing, but the Goliaths, the Goliaths here catch one.
And you see the interceptors on the carriers keep following under them. Okay, now they went into the carriers. That's there's a trigger we have in Starbow. Or actually, it's data, whatever, it doesn't matter. But the point is, interceptors don't go into the carrier unless the carrier is standing still, which means that you can quickly launch all of them at the same time as long as you keep them moving.
Oh, that's a really cool little idea there. I also just gotta say, I know it's from Brood War, the Spider-Mines with the vultures, but it's such a cool ability just to be able to. You can set up a lot of. There's a lot of positioning things that can happen with those Spider-Mines. But now, actually, Teddy Bear trying to clean up some more of them, trying to gain some more map for himself, and it's now about 50-50. The map is split instead of maybe 60-40 for Shag as it was before.
And this is really good for Terran. Terran is fine being on equal number of bases as Protoss in Starbow. It's Protoss who wants to have a couple extra bases actually. So and also usually, oh, we got a drop there.
Nothing to storm though.
Not too much.
Yeah.
Gets a couple of workers, gets an Archon. He can rift it back home, or just straight to more. Oh, gotta be careful with War Prism though. Don't want to lose it.
But at the same time, the entirety of Shag's army is moving into the natural base and destroying it while this is going into a base trade situation. Teddy Bear hitting the bottom left-hand corners while Shag is moving up. I'm not sure how is this going to pan out, Xiphias?
This is a really difficult question to answer. The problem with this for Teddybear though is that Teddybear is not, well, he's not losing mining bases, but he's losing a lot of tech, while Shag is losing the mining. So as long as Teddybear can quickly relocate all these tech structures, I think Shag is going to lose a lot of his economy. So it really depends on how Teddybear reacts to this situation.
Oh, another big storm drop goes down in Shag's, whatever you want to call it, base in the middle of the map. And by the way, just to remember, they're all the, instead of mules in Starbow, they're the SCVs that are just, they are the dedicated SCVs here, like the dedicated obs. And really, I feel like even in Starbow, Shag will have a little bit of a advantage if just with purely with the type of economy he has.
Yeah, well, he's...
Or he'll be able to get back into the game quickly because...
Yeah, he has bank, that's true. Well, he can only really make vultures off this bank though, he doesn't have a lot of gas, unfortunately. And vultures can help him be very mobile and have a map presence, but it won't really help him directly engage this army of Teddybear. But the army of Teddybear, although there is a lot of carriers, it's not that big, really. Actually, all these Goliaths plus all these spider mines... Well, no, there's observers, so they can just kill the spider mines. I'll take that back. But Teddybear, not pushing his dock any further, he's going to retreat now and maybe try to deal with the forces at home and try to kind of stabilize his game a little bit.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, I mean, he lost all his tech. Yes, Shag was kind of pushed back. Oh, all the vultures will move into the back of this line, and ooh, we'll get a couple kills. But like I was saying, even though Shag lost that mining, he did not lose any tech. He does not have to rebuild that, while Teddybear really is having to rebuild that all over the map and has almost just repositioned his main base in the top left-hand corner. And because of this, the mobility of Shag, I'd love to see him just pick off. I mean, he could pick off a plethora of bases here, whether it's the bottom left-hand corner or in the middle, just because how fast he is. And especially at this base at the... I don't know what to call that base. At the third base, whatever you want to call it now, those a decent amount of gates right there just hanging out, and there's not that many cannons.
He could like siege up 3 or 4 tanks at the ramp there and just basically slowly kill that base. But I like what he's doing now, sending vultures to this new expansions that Teddybear wants to take, which he basically just killed from Shag, and he wants to make sure that doesn't happen without a fight, which I like a lot. And Shag is getting so many vultures that he can start engaging dragoons with them even. Like, dragoons sort of counter vultures, and they really do, but it's not a hard counter, and with some really good micro, you can actually kill vultures. Kill dragoons with vultures.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of just different micro possibilities can happen in Starbow, but for now, as you're mentioning, the bottom left-hand base is being sacked, and the base I pointed out, for a second I was like, oh dear, can they see my ping? And I was like, oh, it's a replay, never mind. I was like, oh no, don't do it, whatever you're doing. But right now, actually, Teddybear is insanely supply blocked. He's got the carriers, he's got not necessarily cost-efficient units, but the carriers, they can pump out pump out what he needs quick to defend. But now it's getting a little bit scary because Shag has middle of the map completely dominant control. Still, I mean, both players are kind of killing stuff, pulling back, killing stuff, pulling back. Neither player wants to commit too much, and I like that. They're both playing it very safe.
I really like this new expansion from Shag on the 3 o'clock, I suppose. I'm really bad with the watch, but because this is such a safe base to take, it's basically right next to his whole army where he wants to keep his army anyway, and he really should be getting gas from his 6 o'clock. He's only have 1 there because gas is what he's starving, but he's actually maxed, and Teddybear is almost maxed too. Surprisingly, after going at each other's throat for so long, they're still maxed. I was about to say earlier that Shag looked in a really horrible position because he lost so much economy, but he's just because he killed so many bases and just removed the presence of Teddy's army so much, he's in a decent position right now.
Yeah, he's been playing very well. He's been keeping very good map presence, but I love this from Teddy. I love the bottom left-hand base from Teddy. He's actually trying to stay in the game. Often you'll see a Protoss, whatever race you are, after a while you not necessarily forget about expanding, but you're like, okay, you're scared, I need to defend, I need to get up a big army. But he's still got the guts. He still knows he needs to do something a little bit crazy to hold in the game, but now he's going to have to be able to hold the entire army of Shag, and let's just look at what that actually is. That's 37 Vultures, 33 Goliaths, 11 Siege Tanks. This is a super scary, super quick army to deal with.
And a Wraith for whatever reason. I think that's just a misclick. If you make like a nice group of Wraiths, you can cloak and snipe carriers with them, but one Wraith is never going to do anything. But he's going to try to set up a minefield here before the army comes down, and he's going to siege up in a very good position, and that's a good spread too, but the Goliaths are a little bit on top of each other. Hopefully they won't be all decimated by Stormer. Actually, there are not really any high Templars with Teddybear's army, so it doesn't really matter at this point.
No, yeah, and he actually does have 500 gas, so he could do something. Both players have very nice banks, but now it's coming down to this. This could be a big endgame engagement. By the way,
nice EMP.
Yeah, by the way, bottom left-hand corner, there is a base trying to go out, but like I was saying, these carriers are not necessarily super cost-effective, but they can engage from so far away with a little bit of micro, they can push everything back, and they're doing really well. Shag has to be careful, but at the same time, he's got a nice amount of the map just to himself, but not that much mining, actually. I'm just curious how many SCVs. He only has 32 SCVs at the moment.
The interesting thing about Goliaths is that earlier on in the game, you usually want to use your Goliaths to kill the carriers. But later on, when you have the 3-3 upgrades, Goliaths are really effective at just killing the interceptors themselves. So you don't actually have to kill the... As long as you have enough Goliaths, you don't have to actually deal with the carriers. You can just keep killing interceptors over and over. And I saw he was down at like 35 interceptors, and now he's up to 50. So a lot of interceptors did die just from that small little poke he did. So it's really difficult to engage the Goliaths at the time.
Yeah, it is quite hard to engage with these Goliaths because he does have to... He's got to get back his interceptors here. But for now, I mean, like I was saying, Teddybear is doing what he needs to do, getting up some more economy, and both players are really starved at the moment. They got fantastic banks, but now, if you all look, that's 3,000 minerals for Shaguar, only 500, and now this last mining base, or the big mining base for Teddybear is getting hit. Actually, as I say that, I realize he does have top left. He does pretty much all the top left is still mining, but almost all his bases have been moved because of that tech reset, but this base is going to get sniped. But can Teddybear, I mean, maybe he can go for a flank, but not definitely up this really small ramp.
Yeah, he did not. It doesn't look. This force looks to be more like to defend his 3 o'clock. Or no, that's not a 3 o'clock. And his 9 o'clock more than to defend.
Top left base.
Yeah.
If we could see Avex's view, we could tell you the base he's looking at.
That's right. We will tomorrow, because then it was not going to be replaced. But yeah, Teddybear, the last thing he wants to do is to push up that ramp. That's like, yeah, he wants to go around.
So I was like, at first I was thinking maybe he can get a flank. Oh no, don't even try to get a flank up that ramp. I don't know what you're doing, but sorry, the flank is going down. Keep going. What you're saying?
No, it's okay. Yeah, there's a couple of stuff. I think he was just going the wrong way by mistake there. But no, actually, he's moving down again. He really doesn't want to be down there. He wants to be on the high ground and control that and then attack down from the high ground. But he's going to the low ground. I really doesn't like this decision, which is another word for saying dislike, but English sometimes. But Shag is he's getting all the siege tanks down. Good. No, the tanks want to go back up again. Yeah, I don't think moving those tanks down was the best idea either. And the lag is
slaughtering everything. Shag is, I mean, actually, I almost want to say Shag is pushing more, but on the other hand, all those siege tanks went so far down that when they sieged up, the army was already there. One Archon, like Hero Archon, like, I will stop it. You shall not pass right here. But still, I mean, Shag is barely pushing through because he has such a strong army. But Teddybear slaughtered all the siege tanks, literally only 9 siege tanks left out of the 30 that were previously there.
Yeah, this is going to make it very difficult for Shag to deal with a big number of ground units, and this is really good. We see Teddybear only making interceptors when it comes to air units, but he's making a lot of Dragoon Gonzalez, which is very smart, seeing all those tanks die. He wants just to kill the Goliath at this time. Nice storm though. Oh, beautiful storm actually. And Teddybear is actually, wow, I was about to say Teddybear was dead like 3 minutes ago, but right now he killed so many units that I think he may lose this base, but he might be able to come back with his army afterwards.
He did, but the one saving grace he has, not only killing that, is with the carriers here. He cannot move his army across the map with how many spider mines are on it. Currently 106. No ground army is going to be able to get past that too quickly, and that's going to give Shag a lot of time. He will finally push this back. And I'm honestly agreeing with you that Teddybear is a nice position, but I'm really worried for Shag here. He's only got 3 mining bases, but he's only got that in the past couple minutes in this game. It's still a very starved game. We are at the 47-minute mark, so this is going back and forth. This is a good game.
And it's very unfortunate that Shag had a dominant army in a dominant position, and then he moved all those siege tanks down and he clumped up all those Goliaths, and then just everything bad happened. So right now, this is basically Teddybear's window to push back a little bit and do some economic damage to his opponent, because he lost his base, so he has very little eco going. He needs to do some damage with this army, and he has 50% more supply than his opponent, so he might be able to get something done. He's actually making a Starker, which is a mistake. I can just tell you that right off the bat.
Come on. You could see some amazing Blink Micro. Not really, as you mentioned before. They're very, very weak, but
fragile especially versus Terra. Man, Teddybear can easily pick off this one base. Yeah, there we go. He just didn't see it. This is hard. Yes.
Well, what I was going to say is I don't really know if Shag wants to defend the base he was just at. Yes, there are literally like 50 spider mines there, but no mining. So really, the bases he has to defend are these bottom left-hand two. And how is he going to do that? He may actually get a beautiful flank, but remember, as Xiphias was mentioning, you can teleport out with your nexuses. I'm not sure how to describe it. What is it called?
Rift. But you can only do 5 units at a time, though. And I don't know if he has
5. Yeah, maybe you're right. Yeah, but still, there's a possibility to get up if he wants to. But instead, going for a base trade. And actually, these carriers are undefended. There's no ground. And these Goliaths will be pushing forward and trying to catch them. Desperately, the carriers are trying to get out of the way.
This is the return of the fight of the choke. And this time, there are no high Templar to storm everything. So this time, no, there we go. There they come. As I was saying that. And he's getting flanked again. Teddybear showing that he is king of this choke.
Yeah, man, he is definitely king of this choke. It's a full flank. Teddybear playing really well right here. At first, I thought he was going to get flanked in, but no, flips the table actually on his opponent Shag, and now it's coming down to what does that Shag actually have? Now, if I look at units, he's got 9 vultures, a siege tank, a couple Goliaths, he's 86 spider mines, but as long as Teddybear is okay, there's very little production, and the bank of Shag is slowly waning down.
As long as he brings up service with this Dragoons, those spider mines don't really do anything except for slow him down a little bit. But Shag has a lot of money right now. His macro's been slipping a little bit lately because he definitely has. He's also been untouched this whole game. So he's heading up a decent position right now. Teddybear's going to attack into it anyway, and I don't know if it's a good idea by Teddybear. Fortunately though, there's not a lot of Goliaths to kill the carriers, but there are some ground army to kill the ground army.
There's only one carrier here now though, and it's kind of been weighing down. There's still a couple Archons and Teddybear. Oh, second right there. I thought everything froze, but no.
Wait, how did he only end up with one carrier? Like I see there's only one, but there was like 4 not that long ago, but it doesn't matter. Teddybear is pushing his opponent all the way back to his main, and this one carry is doing the job, and Teddybear actually takes this game. Wow, that's quite an insane game. Wow, that was a good travel cast.
He didn't have...